Well, here we are, everybody. We are now starting our 1 week club with SHINee. Funny enough, this is not, usually I do the debut. However, this is not the first time that we've had SHINee on the channel. Obviously, when I first started getting into K-pop, it was around this time, and I saw the reminder about Jonghyun, and I did a whole series of videos back then, which is about 3 years ago to the day. So I figured they inspired the entirety of 1 week club. So I want to give them a modern 1 week club, uh, you know, version of what we had done, giving them the treatment that they inspired. So anyway, if you're new here, my name is Aaron. I help you love the music that you already like. And we are going to be starting off with Replay, the dance practice. So let's check this out, shall we? The very first, the trendsetter, the blueprint, SHINee.
가자, 가자, 가자.
네.
In all its grainy glory. Interesting, it all started off with formation.
Our story continues on the Mount Crumpet Cliffs.
Interesting. I remember a little while ago I was talking to my friend who actually got me onto K-pop and doing this channel, and it was kind of interesting because it's I remember her telling me the story where it was like really hard to get a hold of like K-pop stuff back like when this was first starting to kind of slowly leak into the States and, outside of Korea. And like this is how everything was. Just like these really grainy, you kind of are grateful for what you got kind of moments. And it's kind of interesting because that's kind of how it was for anime. Back when I was a teenager, I was really a lot more into anime, and now not so much. But um, I find it interesting because every single era, you can kind of always tell more or less like what the idea is and stuff like that. But what's more interesting is when it's the first one. Because, for us now, it's common to see, dance practices and seeing like all these crazy stuff that groups like in Hyphen and, you know, whatever group that's really good at dancing have these crazy dance practices, and I think the interesting thing is watching this, it's like, in today's time, it might not seem as impressive. But in reality, what they're working with, who they are at the time, and how young they were, and just the overall feeling, and just like hoping, hey, hopefully they like this and as content. I don't actually know exactly what the reasoning was behind posting a dance practice, but as a first time ever, like back then, probably seeing this was probably so insane to see. And in another weird twist of events here, it reminds me a little bit of like how I feel about, if you don't know, I am really, really into old horror. Like, I really like Bela Lugosi. He's my favorite Dracula. And this is like one of those scenes where when I go back and watch those shows, I think to myself, how does, how would it feel seeing this for the first time? Like putting yourself into the situation of seeing this as if it was fresh. And it changes your whole perspective. And the interesting thing is if you're new to the channel, I also actually was able to get into college by ballroom dancing. And the interesting thing about it is, this is very different from ballroom, first and foremost. Second, the idea of how this different styles of dance is obviously very vast, but usually there's, I think usually about two or three styles is kind of what I like to imagine. You got just the standard group, performance. Then I like to call formation, where this is more like formation, where it's like they will keep moving people into different formations, and that's just kind of how it is. You get like lines, triangles, all that stuff. Then the third one is usually shape. And, usually when I think of shape, there's a lot of groups that now do shape, but, I'll give you an example. Like BTS does a lot of shape choreography. And I find it interesting because this all started with formation. And I always tell people, I a lot of times prefer the older choreography because a lot of times when you see these incredibly intricate, unique, physical, very sophisticated, incredible choreographies, unless if you can prove it, it takes me out because I know that there's no way that you can sing while doing that choreography. And I watch this and I think to myself, this is very effective. I love how this sounds. I love the look of it. I love the simplicity. I know that they can do this, and I know that they can sing to this. So I think that that's kind of the interesting thing here, is that you kind of get the best of both worlds, because it's not what I would say like the most, complex, but I wouldn't also say you're just dancing a square box or something like that. In fact, even right here, I thought I was going to need to move it, but I was actually kind of already there. I love this set piece right here. To me, this works so well because the fact of the matter is that this choreography, the whole idea is to continually shift who's in the center, and they do it in such an impeccable way. Very, very cool. obviously, Replay, extremely legendary. Very cool. Yeah, great way to start. Great way to start. Replay, awesome. Next, we're going to jump forward a little bit. This song is 4 years old. This song is called Atlantis. I'm very excited for this. So, let's check this out. This is not going to be a dance practice this time, so we'll be able to focus a little bit more on the vocals rather than just the dancing. So, let's check it out.
미지의 그 영역을 찾게 한 순간 묻혔던 감각들을 깨워낸 듯한 그곳은 중력보다 강하게 또 아주 깊숙하게 헤어나지 못할 끝까지 끌어당겨 나 It's like we underwater 점점 깊어져가 밀려오는 널 품에 안을게 내 숨을 가져가 My love goes deep, deep, deep
Yo.
짙어진 emotion My love goes deep, deep 바람 속에 내 온몸을 맡긴 채 너를 향해 yeah, yeah, yeah. 좀 더 숨겨놔 은밀히 다 어디든가 I'm coming for you 파도치는 맘 버티지만 거칠수록 I'm falling for you 아찔하고 아득한 falling I'm diving to you Ooh, yeah. 난 그대가 저기 빛나는 별이라며 고개를 들고 있었지만
우와.
그건 바닷속 늘 예상 밖의 her 그대와 나 I'm miss 믿을 수 없어도 나는 향해 Atlantis We're under the water 가늠할 수 없는 심해와의 kiss 나를 입술어 가 My love goes deep, deep, deep
Yo, this is so sick.
실제 할지 몰랐던 그 감정 We're under the water 난 네 안에 잠겨 내 숨을 가져가 My love goes deep, 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 deep Oh yeah 깊어진 your ocean 짙어진 emotion Oh yeah My love goes deep, go deep for you 바람 속에 내 온몸을 맡긴 채 너를 향해 yeah, yeah, yeah It's like we are underwater
Ooh.
It's like we are underwater 너를 향해 yeah, yeah, yeah
Okay, that was sick. Okay, there's, I would say, 3 things that I would like to point out that I just greatly appreciate about this song. This is, to me, some of the 3 things that I think actually truly made this song. I think there's a couple things that I can name here. First and foremost, written in D major. I obviously assumed this was going to be written in major, unless they were going to write some sort of sad part about Atlantis. This is going to be a happier song. First and foremost, the cool thing is I love the structures, the bones of the song. That guitar is phenomenal. Perfect setting for the song.
미지의 그 영역을 찾게 한 순간 묻혔던 감각들을 깨워낸 듯한 그곳은 중력보다 강하게 또 아주 깊숙하게
It's a great way to just start the song. Like, personally, for me, I hear the song and I think, great basis. This is a great foundation for the rest of the song. Very, very cool. I greatly appreciate the vocal work. I like the flow of the song. The energy is really nice as well. Very consistent. The next thing that I think that I truly, honestly, really like about this is I love the variation of vocals. The vocals, obviously, we're we're going to be good. But this right here is interesting because we start off and it's a little bit in a higher pitch. Then we move in.
묻혔던 감각들을 깨워낸 듯한 그곳은 중력보다
And, you know, like it's a little bit higher.
강하게 또 아주 깊숙하게 헤어나지 못할 끝까지 끌어당겨나
Getting a little bit deeper.
It's like we are
And then Onu comes in here. And absolutely, I think this is Onu. Comes in with the deepest vocals that we've heard in the song thus far.
underwater 점점 깊어져가 밀려오는 널 품에 안을게
The strings coming in adds that extra texture. And, you know, a lot of times when it comes to water theme stuff, strings really help with that.
내 숨을 가져가 My love goes deep
Then we get into the chorus and it has that nice jump in pitch, right?
내 숨을 가져가 My love goes deep, deep, deep
And the thing that's cool about this too, that I have to point out that I think actually is so cool and, you know, is the fact that there's no run, there's no build up, it's just straight to that high note. It's just here, then here. And it just captures that so well. It provides that extra atmosphere, that extra feeling.
My love goes deep, deep, deep 깊어진 your ocean 짙어진 emotion My love goes deep, deep 바닷속에 내 온몸을 맡긴 채
Great vocals, great harmonies. And I also just love the energy we're getting here. It's one of those songs where it's got that energy. And yeah, at the same time too, like even the theme could have been very easily been very cheesy, but they made it so it's not. Like this is actually something that would have been hard to avoid if you were not professionals. This is phenomenal. That's a really cool part. I really appreciate how they handled that part. So yeah, I would say first and foremost, song structure, the vocals, and just the variation. So cool. This next part, I really appreciate it as well because it brings this kind of more mysterious smoothness that we hear in the very beginning, but a little more amplified. And then we get introduced to kind of like this rap section a little bit here. And I think it's actually just a really good sign of the variety and the texture of the song.
숨겨놔 은밀히다 어디든가 I'm coming for you 하도 지는 맘 버티지만 거칠수록 I'm falling for you 아찔하고 아득한
And there's that interesting build-up, right? You get that staccato, and then it hits
falling 아담이
with that lowering right there. I love that little run.
Oh yeah 난 그대가 저기
Then we get Minho come in and just absolutely nails this section.
아담이 돼요 Oh yeah 난 그대가 저기 빛나는 별이라며 고개를 들고 있었지만 그대 위친 바닷속 늘 예상 밖의 her 그대와 나 I'm mixed 믿을 수 없어도 나는 향해 Atlantis We're under the water 가늠할 수 없는 심해와의 kiss 나를 입술어가 My love goes deep
See, that's so cool. And I think this is one of the things that is so crazy about SHINee. You know, in a lot of senses, I think that every single group has like one ace or maybe two aces. But this sounds weird, but it comes from me being a metalhead, and I know that sounds, you know, really weird. But to me, if I was to compare a band to SHINee, that's like a classic metal band, I would probably say that they're like Iron Maiden, which I know that sounds crazy to say, but hear me out. There is very few groups that I feel like is as talented as SHINee. Same thing with Iron Maiden. Like you go through, their guitarists are insane. Their bassist is crazy. Their drummer has got so much energy. I don't know how he does it. Bruce Dickinson, one of the best to ever do it. Great singer. And then it's like, if you were to ask anybody who's just clearly not just a hater and say, who is the weakest link in SHINee? You can't really say anyone. You're going to say Minho? You're going to say Key? Taemin? Jonghyun? Like, it does not matter. It does not matter who you name. I know you're not going to say Onu. They're all aces. And I remember when I first did this, their nickname was the Blueprint. And absolutely. Because even their solo work is insane. So, yeah. Atlantis, great start. Great energy. Let's wrap this up and let's move to the next song. And to end the day, we are going to be doing Lucifer, the music video. I'm actually super excited for this. I do know this song's chorus, mainly because every single time it goes viral on TikTok. I love the choreography, but let's check it out. I never actually listened to the song in full.
숨을 걷고 찾지 못한 나는 피하려고 애써 봐도 너무조차 할 수 없는 네게 갇혀버린 사랑이었다면 정말 사랑했던 거라면
Porsche?
이러지도 마라 Always always from Lucifer 나를 묻고 가둔다면 사랑도 묶인 채 미래도 묶인 채 커질 수 없는데 자유롭게 비워놓고 바라봐 오직 너만 채울게 너만 가득 채울게 거부할 수 없는 너의 마력은 Lucifer 거부할 수 없는 너의 마법은 Lucifer 다가서면 너는 마치 천사 같은 얼굴로 나를 사는 이유라 말하고 말하고 너를 처음 봤을 때 짧은 순간
What a hairstyle.
마치 내 심장을 꺾인 채 놓지 않는 것처럼 아직까지도 너는 그렇게 내 맘을 따따따따따따 가져놓고 네가 없으면 내 맘이 따타버리게 만든다 나를 묻고 가둔다면 사랑도 묶인 채 미래도 묶인 채 커질 수 없는데 자유롭게 비워놓고 바라봐 오직 너만 채울게 너만 가득 채울게 Loverholic, Lovertronic, Loverholic, Lovertronic 너와 같이 나눈 사랑 얘기들 나랑 같은 곳을 바라보는 너 우리 더 이상은 완벽해질 수 없다고 느꼈을 때 너만 쳐다봐 너는 또 나를 원해 너만 바라봐 모든 게
That was cool.
조금씩 잘못된 것 같아 이상한 너 나를 둔 사람들 모두 하나둘씩 곁을 떠나 난 가진 게 너뿐이니까 나를 묻고 가둔다면 사랑도 묶인 채 미래도 묶인 채 커질 수 없는데 자유롭게 비워놓고 바라봐 오직 너만 채울게 너만 가득 채울게 마치 유리성에 갇혀버린 비로 만든 것 같아 지금은 조금만 너를 위해 춤을 추는 나 머리 들여다보고 날 만나보낸 것 같아 난 점점 네게 끌려가는 것만 같은데 Loverholic, Lovertronic, Loverholic, Lovertronic 네가 민 건 아냐 싫단 것도 아냐 탐지 그런 눈빛이 부담이
This is wild.
어디엔가 이렇게 난 너만 바라보고 기다려왔잖아
너의 눈빛이 날 사로잡다 날이 갈수록 날카로워졌다 너의 집착에 지쳤다 많이 배웠다 맘에 피가 난다 나 쓰러지면 아까워서 천사같이 사랑해란 말 누가 진짜 너였는지 알다가도 헷갈리게 만든다
나를 묻고 가둔다면 사랑도 묶인 채 미래도 묶인 채 커질 수 없는데 자유롭게 비워놓고 바라봐 오직 너만 채울게 너만 가득 채울게 마치 유리성에 갇혀버린 비로 만든 것 같아
나를 내도 자유로워질 때 너를 진짜 사랑할 수 있고
머리 들여다보고 화를 만져보낸 것 같아
나를 내도 질리기도 말고 너를 진짜 바라볼 수 있게
나를 묻고 가둔다면 사랑도 묶인 채 미래도 묶인 채 커질 수 없는데 Loverholic, Lovertronic, Loverholic, Lovertronic 거부할 수 없는 너의 마력은 Lucifer
Jeez, that's crazy. Okay. First and foremost, I thought that first part actually happened more. I did not realize that it was only like the first part. That's crazy. I love the sound effects for the hands. That's beautiful. It's interesting because the truth of the matter is like, it seems like at this point that this was a very shared sound. This was definitely a very shared sound, especially with SM. Because when I was listening to this, my first thought was, oh my goodness, this actually reminds me a little bit about FX, which we did a couple months back. It's interesting that this particular era, they were just like, no, this is the sound. And, I think a lot of times it paid off. Sometimes it didn't. This pays off. Obviously, Lucifer is just a crazy song. Okay, sorry, this is also the car guy in me, but got the BMW, the Porsche, and this almost looks like the Fiat Spider. That's kind of what it's looking like. Interesting. Very cool. But the interesting thing about this is, for me, the big thing is the energy. This song just is pure energy, pure hype. It's just got that consistent... The word that comes to mind about this particular era of SM music is voltage. It feels like a voltage theme. You know what I'm saying? It just, if voltage was music, it sounds like this. Whoa, the styling though. Wow, that is wild. That is some wild styling here. Only one side is shaved. My poor boy. My poor boy. What a style indeed. I think the one only unfortunate thing about this particular era for me when it comes to music from SM is that it does make it feel like the group is a little more... They don't allow everybody to shine. It makes them feel just slightly a little more homogenous. Doesn't mean the song's bad by any stretch of the means, don't get me wrong, but I would say that that's the sad thing, is because, like, again, when you have the 5 that you do for SHINee, homogenous is kind of what you want to avoid, right? I don't know. It's very interesting, but I mean, the choreography as well. This is probably, if you were to do a Mount Rushmore or a Big Four, everybody likes those questions. Who's on your Mount Rushmore? Who's in the Big Four? Like, who's your Big Four girl groups? Who's your Big Four boy groups? And, honestly, I think if you were to ask the question, what are the Big Four in choreography, I might put Lucifer on that list. I think Big Four status for choreography, 100%. And not even just because of this super awesome beginning here. See, the whole theme is just really cool. Like, yeah, okay, this part's pretty cool. This is the most recognizable part, but honestly though, the whole song has fantastic choreography. The harmonies right there is insane, by the way. Very cool. Now this has to be in the Big Four of choreography, right? Right? I don't know. You have to let me know about this. Anyway, this was day 1 of SHINee. I was actually looking at this. Okay. I have a calendar right here that I'm looking at. Technically, this goes until the 29th, technically speaking. However, looking at this, maybe we do Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, and then I might take the first off. If you want me to extend it out from just instead of it being Monday to Monday to Wednesday, let me know and we'll go from there. Okay? We'll see how this goes. Anyway, thank you all so much. We'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.